to mix things up. What do you think?
I think it's great, and I think you hear a little tidbit like that, and it does get you fired up. It reminds you of the importance and really what it is that we have here. And you mentioned protein tasting, and to think that a doctor, because Dr. Paul Arciero, it has been so well published, and his work is already out in the communities that some doctor is already referring to protein tasting. That's his gig. And he is with our company. And the reason he believes in protein tasting is because of Isagenix. So there's another fun fact, if you didn't know that one. Protein tasting is his trademark, and it's because of Isagenix, because of his experience in the studies that this all came to be. And it's real science. It's something we can be very confident and strong in sharing with other people. So yes, I agree.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I think that's a great idea. So if you and your verbiage get on these calls, just say, hey, who's that? If you have a fun fact, that's fun. I mean, and too, because a lot of people are getting on and they're new and they don't know how all this works. And sometimes you and I, Lori, we forget how amazing some of the stories we've heard even through the years, just from the doctors or I mean, you and I can go back and forth on fun facts until the cows come home because the products are that amazing. But to offer people an opportunity to raise their hand, hey, I just got that, or I heard this, or I investigated this, as long as they're factual, I think it would be fun.
I do too. So having said that, 5-star raises your hand. Anything that you have to share for the benefit of others, something that gets you fired up and excited, 5-star raises your hand, and we'll unmute you. It's your time to shine and help other people on this call. And right now there's no hands up, so keep going.
And boys, they're probably thinking, they're probably hearing us talking about this. We don't want to, we want to remind you, if you have a question about the program itself, feel free to raise your hand about that as well. But, the products themselves are amazing. The system itself is meant to be used as a system. We like to start people with packages of products so we set you up for success. It's a race to maintenance. If you go into the back office, go to BeSetFreeLife.com, and then I'm going to make it actually much easier to kind of navigate around that site. But if you go, there's a little skinny bar with some drop-down menus, and getting started, and then go to the script. You'll see the race to maintenance, or you'll see cleanse orientation script. You'll see different scripts. But in the race to maintenance, it explains what that is that everybody gets on the program. And, everybody does it for different reasons. So no matter what your reason is, people will say, well, do I have to stay on this for life? And I always answer that with, no, of course you don't. But you probably are going to want to. If you're going to feel anything the way I'm feeling on this, forget it. You're going to want to stay on this life. But you don't have to. The truth is, what it is a race to maintenance. So, Jackie, you said you had 30 pounds to lose. When you get your 30 pounds, we're doing it this way, where it's replacing. You're now going to have 2 shakes, replace 2 meals. You're going to eat 1 normal meal, and you're going to have your cleanse days. Ideally, 2 in a row is the way they're meant to be. But if you want to do 1 a week, then that's fine too. I know Kathy Kluber does 1 a week. But the truth is that John Anderson made it to do a 2-day cleanse, and I know Kathy will do 2 in a row from time to time. But she primarily, she knows she can accomplish this 1 a week. And look at Kathy. She looks fantastic, right? So, but that's kind of so go back to the Jackie who has 30 pounds to lose. Once you get there, Jackie, then you're going to back off and maybe have 1 shake a day. So we're going to actually guide people on how to do that, making sure people take their measurements. The importance of the measurements. And when do you measure again? I don't know what all this writing and all this is saying, but what's going on is I've seen different ideas of when to take your second set of measurements. Take your first set, obviously, when you start. But we always said, hey, take your second set of measurements after the first 2 cleanse days, the morning after the first 2 cleanse days. Fires you up. Then do your 5 shake days, 2 more cleanse days, and take your measurements again the morning after your second set of 2 cleanse days. And you're going to see yourself get all wound up with excitement. So that's some more fun facts on how it all works, the system itself. Since no hands were up, but I don't want to ramble. I want to make sure that, Lori, I'll turn it back over to you because I'm driving and can't even tell if somebody's hands are up.
Okay. I just unmuted Mary. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Lauren. Good morning, Patty. I do have a question. A prospect who is on an antidepressant, Zoloft, is it okay for that person to consume the Ionic or not?
It is. Yeah, it should be just fine. There's been plenty of people who have. Yes, and there's no warnings or concerns regarding that.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that was easy. The best you can do.
Well, right now, let me think a little.
All right. No, I'm just teasing you. Yes, we've had certainly people with who've been on antidepressants, and what it really is doing is simply just providing the nutritional basis for health, including brain chemistry health, with the entire product line, including the Ionic. So it shouldn't interfere in any way or cause any problems.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're so welcome. And I just unmuted Wendy. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
Good.
I have a couple questions. A friend of mine has been noticing, how wonderful I look from using Isagenix, and she's interested in it. But she said she feels that she's sensitive to soy lecithin, and I'm actually allergic to soy. But soy lecithin, it changes the molecular structure when it becomes an emulsifier, so I don't have the problem with it. So do you think, is there something different about our soy lecithin, or is that anything I should tell her to, she just feels that her stomach bothers her after 5 days of having anything with soy lecithin in it, which soy lecithin is in everything.
Soy lecithin, the soy lecithin that's used as an emulsifier in our product is triple distilled or purified, so that there is absolutely no protein in it. And the protein is the part that is the allergen. So there should be no allergic issue with the soy lecithin in any of the products. But keep in mind that there is, I'm quite sure I'm right on this, there's no soy lecithin in our basic product. If she's taking the bars and things like that, that's where you'll find the soy lecithin. But I don't believe it's in any of the shakes at this point in time. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, okay. I will have to double check that. And then I did have another question. I've been doing this one cleanse day because I think almost I'm addicted to them because I'm like, I haven't had a cleanse day this week. I'm going through withdrawal. But I get lately, the past several weeks, I get such wicked headaches that I'm like bedbound because I can't see. I got such a bad migraine, and I've done where I've had a couple apple flakes. I've done the having hydrate, and I've had Himalayan pink sea salt, but it doesn't. I didn't start out that way. I wasn't getting these bad headaches like that on a consistent basis every once in a while. But lately, so I just decided that maybe I needed to stop. I do the daily cleanse, but maybe just stop doing a cleanse day for a little while. Is that sound?
Yeah. Are you a headache person, or is this just something kind of out of the blue? Is this your history?
Yes, I get migraines.
Okay. So with somebody with a history of migraines, low blood sugar is a major trigger for a migraine headache. So that might just be where you are right now with low sugar. Although it sounds like if you're taking hydrate, but let's back up a little bit. So when you do your cleanse days, are you following with because someone like you should be really relying on the Isagenix snacks more?
Yeah.
And
I follow the whole regime there.
Okay, so you're having something early, in the day, because oftentimes what I find is that people will cleanse and they won't snack until they'll start to feel that hunger, which is like afternoon. But by then you've already kind of aced yourself into a problem. So you want to be consistent with those snacks. And I don't know, I don't have anything other than science behind this, not necessarily experiential, but the vanilla and chocolate Isagenix snacks have chromium in them, whereas the vegan, the berry ones do not. So for someone like you, the vanilla and chocolate, if you're not already using those, might be a better choice because of the chromium has a little bit more blood sugar stabilization, abilities.
Yeah, I use those because I have been doing the vegan ones just because I like the flavor better. But I think I asked you about that month ago when you made that comment. So I've been staying to just the chocolate and vanilla ones now.
Okay, and I don't, like I said, experientially, no one has said to me, "Oh wow, I'd be better on, these than the vegan, the vanilla chocolate versus the vegan." No one has said that. I haven't heard any of that, but I just feel it should be said. So if you've already gone through, you're drinking enough water, you're going into a cleanse day. Sometimes I find that people think that they should eat more on a pre-cleanse day because they're not going to be eating for the next 2 days, and nothing could be further from the truth. So if that's something that you do, I strongly recommend that people cut carbs on their 2 pre-cleanse days to actually make the cleanse days go better, so that you've already had 2 days of, pretty low carb eating, high fat, high protein, lots of water, making sure you have those 2 shakes to go in so that you're ready, your body is totally ready for cleansing once you start taking that cleanse for life. But if you feel like you're already doing everything that the right way, you might just kind of reread it and make sure that you're not missing any pieces. Taking the natural accelerator is extremely helpful for helping also to control blood sugar. So if you're not taking that in the morning and the afternoon, I would strongly recommend doing that.
I do all that. The only thing I don't do is I probably do not. I don't cut my carbs the day two days before. I don't intentionally do that.
Okay, and are you a 1 day or a 2 day cleanser?
I only do one because I've tried 2 days and it's just,
again, like I said, it's a bedtime,
So when you wake up on day 2 after a cleanse, when you wake up the next day, do you feel good?
You mean after day 1?
Yeah, after a day of cleansing, when you wake up the next morning, how do you feel?
I feel iffy.
Okay. Yeah.
So I feel okay, but I'm like, but I need something now. So, I'm anxious for that thing.
Yeah. And then when you have the shake, do you feel better?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would say probably just hold off for a couple of weeks. Really take a good, look at your diet and lifestyle and see if there's anything that's slipping in that doesn't belong there. We don't always have to be perfect in our diet, but when you're looking for results and you're looking for, to solve a problem, it really helps to just really focus and get really strong on, on the basics of the program, making sure you're doing things right. It's a beautiful time of year to get out, get, fresh air and sunshine as well, getting enough sleep and all of that. And then go and try it again, and it very likely will be a completely different experience. But keeping in mind that low blood sugar is a trigger for people with migraines. So, I've had many people who, outgrown those headaches as time goes on, but, and that can very likely happen. But if it is continuing to happen, your body just isn't ready yet. Does that help?
Okay. Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Okay. Nicole, good morning.
Good morning, Lori. So I don't have a question, but you got somebody, I think Patty was saying if anyone had any inspirational stories or whatever to share. So I thought our 3-week conversation that we had with my girl was a great story. There's so many people get so focused on that number on the scale. They're looking to lose weight, and the majority of people start this to lose weight. But she's had so many non-scale victories. That's what fires me up. She was a girl who lived on the couch and was exhausted all the time.
She had a lot of inflammation and a lot of other health issues that were going on. And she's able to walk 2 miles. Her relationship with her husband has improved just because he has the energy to take the time for him. And for me, I just get fired up about those non-scale victories more so than the victories of what you see on the scale. So I thought I would just share with everybody who's struggling with that number, not to focus so much on it, but to really pay attention to the things that you might not miss and not notice that they're gone because you don't miss them because they're there. So, anyway, I just wanted to share that with you.
Yes, thank you, Nicole, and I totally agree. When we get fixated on that piece of equipment that gives you a number that somehow decides your worth, because it's been a training in for most of us. I can't even say there's an age group. I hope we could end that because it's an indicator. You get on the scale and it's saying, hundreds of pounds higher than it should be. It just should be okay. There's a problem here, but beyond that, it does not define who we are. It's simply a guideline. And there's so many other ways. If we focus on the health, everything else will come. And I truly believe that with all my heart. Thank you, Nicole.
Yeah. Have a great day.
You too. Let's see we've got a couple more here. Good morning, Cassie. Good morning, Lori. How are you? Good. Thank you. Thank you so much for these calls. I learn so much every week from listening, so I just appreciate you. I have a prospect who wanted to try the shake, and so I gave her a couple samples of dairy-free and the regular shake. And she said after she had the regular shake that she felt very lightheaded and a little sour. And I could see that, but I hadn't heard the lightheadedness before. But then the next day, she said she tried the dairy-free and she felt much better. And she said to me, I've been thinking that maybe I've been becoming lactose intolerant. So I just wonder, do you ever hear of lightheadedness with people that are lactose intolerant? And there's probably also not the lactose that, so many people have digestive challenges in one way or another because of, all the medications. There's just a million reasons why our digestion is off. So dairy is somewhat challenging to digest when you have a challenged digestive tract. So even our shakes can be for someone like her. So she's brand new at it. She's had a shake and feels a little, off from having it. So that doesn't mean she can never have the dairy. But the fact that she has a non-dairy, that's where she should start. Start with that. Start with success. And then see what happens over a short period of time if she can introduce some of the dairy as well, or introduce it intermittently. No reason to think that she can't. So, yes, the amount of lactose in it is so tiny. It's far less than 1%, which is extremely, it's negligible. So you have to be extremely lactose sensitive to have a problem with it. So it's probably just more of the digestive nature of the shake because your digestion's off. But that's the beauty, again, of Isagenix. These foods that are, easy to digest are going to ease into, the digestive process and make things better as you go. Does that help? Yes. She's a very, very clean eater. She thinks her diet is perfectly fine, which, it probably is. But usually for breakfast, she said she would have a plain yogurt and berries. And so she's having the shake instead. She noticed that the shake didn't hold her. She said didn't hold her as long as her yogurt and berries. And I found that kind of hard to believe, but unless it's, Well, some of it may be that she is, she's reacting to the amount of protein that she has not been digesting protein very well. So all of a sudden, that's sucking in protein. Yeah. So keep that in mind, and just have her eat a
a protein snack or something, a multifaceted snack, an hour after the shake. That because that will end soon. That will stop. Okay. Well, good. And then if the digestive challenges continue, just have her use the Cleanse for Life a little bit as a tonic. Just an ounce or two when her stomach feels a little sour, and oftentimes that will really help. Just ease the digestion as well. Okay, and you think the Cleanse for Life before she tries the shake, like 30 minutes before, or just if she has the salad? Either one. Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Oh, you're welcome. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning, Lori. How are you?
I am well, and yourself?
Fantastic. Thank you. Hey, thank you so much for taking my call. I wanted to share an actual experience that one of my people had and just posted on our Facebook page. First of all, I wanted to just go back to the person that just called in as well, because I've had similar people say that they eat really clean and, experience either lightheadedness or headache when they drink a shake. Personally, for me, Lori, you probably would know better than I. I've studied nutrition. I've been a personal trainer for many, many years in New York City. But when people get on the program, I just know that most sources of dairy that people are consuming, specifically when they get on these products, are very processed. And I find that dairy, when it's very processed or it's ultra pasteurized, like our milk jar today, unless you actually go out of your way to find a whole source milk or raw milk, can be very, very hard on the digestive system itself, putting our bodies in an acidic environment. And so when I get my people actually on this program, I kind of listen to what they eat already. And personally, for me, unless they have a dire need to have some kind of dairy besides the shake, I take away all dairy from them, or I shouldn't say take away, but I try to eliminate it if possible. And just say, hey, listen, the dairy shakes are underneath your whey protein. They're pure. They're, the way that they're processed, they're going to keep your body alkaline. But most of these, a lot of people say that they eat clean, and I understand that yogurt is a good source of protein or probiotics. But my personal belief, not to preach here, but my personal belief is, every business is going to try to do every single thing in their power to kind of, put themselves in the health and fitness categories because, ultimately they have a bottom line to hit too. So it's kind of hard for an information overload right now as to what's really healthy and what's not. But personally, just, to keep it short and sweet for this, I personally take out all dairy, specifically yogurt. If people really need the yogurt, then I tell them, maybe a good source of Greek yogurt, try to find organic if at all possible, but there's so many that are on the shelf that people are eating and they find that they're not losing weight. But I ask them what they're eating. If they have yogurt, maybe once or twice a day, we take that away, boom, all of a sudden they're starting to lose weight again, just because it does put a lot on the digestive system. Correct me if I'm wrong with that, Lori.
No, absolutely. Look at the growth of the sales of yogurt. You have, at least in our grocery stores in upstate New York, it's like half of the dairy aisle is yogurt. And a lot of them, there's no guarantee that there's actual live probiotic culture in the yogurt. So I can be very clear on that. It may have been there when it was created in the factory, but it may not be. It may not be a live product when you get it. So it's a little bit mentioned, and then add, artificial sweeteners, add sugars, all this other, it's a pretty high sugar product. And then you're adding, a lot of people will add more fruit to it. So yeah, it's not a good, I love what you said. I think that's awesome because people think they're doing a good thing. That shake is a whole live food. Our Isagenix shake is a whole live food. It's got a much wider variety of culture in it with the supporting nutrients that keep those probiotics alive and creating the right chemistry internally so that they stay alive. And that's the difference between having a shake like you said, and eliminating that yogurt. That's great. That's great advice.
Yeah, I just
awesome.
The yogurt is kind of, well, it's very acidic. If you look it up and see how it's processed, it's very acidic inside the body. Not to mention, on the vocal cords, you can even feel it. It creates mucus. Your body has to actually react to it in order to, kind of create a field protection for itself. So you feel mucus on your larynx and your vocal cords. So all in all, yeah, that's what I've pretty much done, and I've seen significant success with weight loss in my people, just taking away the dairy from the yogurt and milk sources, and just having it with a shake. So to go on to, hopefully I didn't preach too long, but I actually had a person post in my private group page about these products. She was very skeptic at first, and she's a very, very nice lady. She posted her product testimony on her page, and she said, I've been using Isagenix products for about 90 days now. I've seen a little bit of weight loss, about 15 pounds lost, about 14 inches lost as well. But that's not as significant as this. The most important change that I've noticed is very few to no migraine, which has not happened in 15 years. She said, I take migraine medicine every single day, and it makes me tired, it makes me sleepy, and I wanted nothing more than to just rid myself of these headaches. This photo is, she posted the photo. The photo is of 2 months supply of prescription migraine medicine that I've not had to use for the whole month of August. Prior to Isagenix, I was taking at least 6 tablets a week, and to manage to get through some days. I'm not suggesting anyone's not taking necessary medicines. Obviously, we can't cure or, cure or eliminate diseases. We're not, quote unquote, supposed to say that, but, miraculous things happen when our body has the right nutrition going into it. So she said, because of this product, changed the quality of my life and how I live my life, and I'm now going to be a customer for life. So I thought that was just fantastic that, it has done that for her. And, it just comes back to simple things of just putting nutrition, great nutrition in our body, flooding it with the nutrition, the vitamins, minerals that it needs, making sure that we're drinking adequate amount of water, at least half our body weight in ounces of water, to really, because it's going to draw these toxins out of the cells, but we need somewhere for these toxins to actually go, which is where the water comes into play with the flushing, and obviously the isoflush and all that good stuff. But most importantly, these products do really work, but sometimes people are in an acidic environment where it creates these imbalances and it creates, side effects, which is totally fine. You just have to work with them. You have to sometimes ease people into it, and eventually their body's going to adapt. That's what the body does. It survives and adapts to any environment and circumstances, and we just have to get it back on track with a healthy lifestyle. So thanks so much, Lori. I appreciate you taking my call.
Oh, you're so welcome. Great advice. And I just have one question for you, Nick. So how did a personal trainer in New York City have such an open mind about Isagenix?
That's a very good question. So to be completely honest with you, part of my story, this is part of my testimony that I tell people as well. I was a personal trainer in New York City. I co-owned and operated my own studio in Manhattan, and I made very good money. And I had Isagenix brought to me, and I saw the product being a good product, but I didn't really understand the opportunity, nor was I in a place where I felt like I wanted to understand it. So I shared it with a few of my clients. I didn't really understand the systems. I didn't really want to get knowledgeable just because I was already working 65 hours a week. And, I knew vitamin shop DNC owners on first name basis where I could literally just, send them my clients, and they would pretty much take care of them based on their specific goals and needs. And, that was a little bit easier for me than trying to study something else, which I regret doing, because I can only imagine, the benefits that I've already received from my parents with better energy, better overall health, longevity, performance, mental focus, clarity, as well as the ability to gain muscle and lose body fat. If I would have known that, Lori, when I was a personal trainer about 6 years ago, oh my gosh, I probably would have transformed, the life of my clients to a whole new level. I was definitely doing great work, but with great nutrition prospecting on the NASM, National Academy of Sports Medicine Personal Training Facebook page. And, they're very, very active on it, and I'll just look for people that are liking and commenting on the post, and I'll look at their picture, and sometimes I'll just click on their profile, see what they're all about. But I've actually shared my story with some of them, and I've gotten on a call and said, listen, when I was in the trenches, when I was doing personal training, I know I was just like you. I was working 6-7 days a week just to get by. I was trading 1 hour of my time for 1 hour they were rate for one person. I wasn't able to create leverage. I wasn't able to save a lot being in New York City and having equipment go down and yada, yada, yada. So if I was in your position, I totally wish when I was in your position that I knew about this opportunity, that I knew this second source of income was available, not to mention the power of this nutritional system is just incredible. And, your clients, I can only imagine how much time you spend on meal prep, or not meal prep, but meal plans and helping your clients with nutrition. This would save you time ultimately as well. And so I actually have about 2 personal trainers on my team right now. I have actually 3 more calls lined up within the next 2 days for personal trainers too. And if there's anybody that's, I was actually going to put this on the GSF Biz page, but if anybody is a personal trainer that is building a pretty good business, pretty good organization with this, I would love to get in touch with you because I would love to learn more about how you build a business with Isagenix regarding personal training professionals. And so, yeah, I was not with this. I was introduced to this, and people introduced me to the opportunity, but it seemed kind of pushy at that time. I didn't understand it. I didn't choose to understand it. And, like many of us run into people when we share it with other people, it's just sometimes not the right time. And that's totally cool. But, I met First Potato and LA Fitness, and he found an idea on the ground that was identical to me, and it got us talking. And that was the conversation that changed my life. I was a real estate agent, pretty much just going broke from that, spending more money than I was making. And then I went back, part-time, just working at Orange Theory Fitness, just like a gym front desk. My wife is a head trainer. And, I was just like, what am I going to do? And I prayed for someone or something to come into my life to show me a better way. And that's when I was introduced. Herb came into my life 3 days later, and, I was skeptic because I had network marketing experience before, and it was a bad time. It wasn't, I realized that, I wasn't in the wrong profession. I was in the wrong company. And it took me a little while to actually learn that. So when I was open to Isagenix and he came in and explained it a little bit more to me, my eyes were just wide open, my heart was wide open to receive this. And since then, actually, about a month ago, I was able to actually quit working full-time and then do Isagenix full-time, which is a true blessing and just something I'm extremely excited about. And I could not be more fired up about it.
That is awesome. What a great story. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lori. I appreciate you.
We're a good team together, and I think there's so many people who have. Oh, I think I just had a hand that disappeared. There's so much wisdom on the team together, and I appreciate what you shared. I know that it was meaningful to many people who heard it, and I love what you said. You weren't with the wrong profession. You were with the wrong company. And Herb helped you to open your eyes.
Yeah, well, it took somebody that was doing extremely well that, I kind of joked around with him because we were talking about real estate. We were talking about possibly selling his lake house. And, I joked around with him. I kind of like nudged him on the shoulder. I was like, you must be pretty close to the top, buddy. And, he's like, well, I'm not one to brag and I'm not one to really, be prideful about this, but I am the top. And I'm like, wait. So that's good. Like, it took God, and God knew my heart, and He knew that I could be kind of hardened, and He knew that it was going to take the right person to really just come to me and say that this is possible, and I was just a regular person to be working a 9-to-5 you wanted to do it with and not have to worry about the money, not having to worry about getting the time off, not having to worry about the job that you're going to every single day to kiss your loved ones goodbye. What if that was possible? And I'm sitting there, listening to him in his cabana, him and I'm just looking around, and I'm like, all right, where do I sign? Where do I sign? So that was my story.
That is wonderful, and I can't agree more. I'm very grateful to her and Patty. Patty introduced this to me over 9 years ago. I thought she was crazy, but I did love and respect her. I knew she knew her way around nutrition big time, and tried it for myself. It took me a while to get over myself and get over my skepticism, because there's a lot of junk out there, and I've been had a lot of that junk brought to me, and so I had no reason to think this was different. Just because, as a nurse, you're trained to be skeptical of everything. Everything you're guilty until proven not. So my own experience, even my story is basically this product even works with a negative attitude. It works better with a positive attitude, but it works with a negative attitude. So it took me a while to go into it. I'm extremely grateful to this day and for the freedom that this has given me. I love helping people, and I can hear it in your heart as well, that, this is our vehicle. This is our vehicle to help people to really, be on a mission and be completely be set free financially as well. And Patty, I'm looking at, Patty, do you have any closing comments before we close the call? I don't know if you're still unmuted.
I'm actually in the dentist chair.
Oh, okay. Well, you just stay there then.
So if I get all wound up, I'll upside down how I do that. So I love all these testimonies. I think this call is amazing. I think that even just interjecting these fun facts is going to be fun. It's going to bring light to the call in between all the, and Nick, I don't know if you're on when I was sharing about Shilajit root and just the different things, just how unbelievable. Lori and I were talking back and forth with people on for 10 days straight about how amazing the things that this program has done for people, what the program and the products are. And, I mean, seriously, if you guys get one thing straight, it's the highest quality, most absorbable nutritionals on the face of the planet. There's something for everyone. There's sports. There's people want to lose weight. People want to put on muscle. Whatever it is, you want to live longer. We've got telomere support. There is no other company that's put together what this company's put together. And I challenge people, show me something better. Nobody, and I've said this to thousands and thousands of people, nobody's come back to Patty. You can't say that anymore because look at this company's product. There's no company out there that's put together the quality of products of this company. That's why we have a 100-pound club. We're not even a weight loss program, guys. 200-pound club, 300 pounds. People are dropping fat off their body, maintaining lean tissue. Where can we, that's why people are so successful here. No one can shut up about it. So people look different with the days, they feel different with the days, and they can't shut up. And we're helping so many people. So let's go out and ask ourselves, what can we help today? That's what we're supposed to do. Just help as many people as you possibly can achieve their goals. And the rest is history. I've always said that to my kids. You can have anything in life that you want if you're willing to help enough other people achieve what it is that they want. End of story. That's the truth. Focus on others and helping them succeed. So that's my closing comments for today, Lori. And Lori and Mike are like sister and a brother to me, and we met through this business, through this industry. Nick and his wife Yana are becoming the same, like you get the best friendship through something like this. So guys, you just have to plug in though, because no one knows that you need help or you have questions or whatever unless you're plugged in. And there is an event tonight at Firethorn. Jessica Johnson never did anything like this in her life. She's currently earning over 7 figures a year. Are you kidding me? With 3 little kids, never did anything like this in her life. She's presenting with Jeremy, who is a wealth of knowledge. He does our friends club on Sunday night. He just
chips are going to fix my tooth here. I'm going to start numbing up. I'll be drooling in a minute. But I love you guys.
We love you too. Yeah, don't bite your lip now.
Well, thank you so much, Lori. I'm going to hop off here. I got to get this torture. I'm going to get on this torture device that they call the Stairmaster. So I got 10 to 15 minutes left on that, and then I'm good to go. But thank you so much for all your wisdom, your knowledge. It's very, very much appreciated on this team. I'm sure I can speak for many of us. So thank you again.
So, well, thank you, and thank you for sharing today. So, as Patty said, let's go out and see who we can help today. God bless everybody, and see you on tomorrow's call. Bye-bye.